Things seem to be moving at an electric pace at Mercedes-Benz India. With the pivotal launch of the brand's first electric AMG right behind it, Mercedes-Benz India has just announced that its Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Santosh Iyer, will soon be taking over the position of MD and CEO from the 1st of Jan 2023. Iyer, whose knowledge of the Indian market and Mercedes-Benz customer base has allowed the brand to remain the best performing luxury car maker in the country, is officially the first Indian to be appointed MD of Mercedes-Benz India, and at 46 is also the youngest. We caught up with the brand's new CEO on the day of the launch to talk about Merc's electric ambitions. So joining us today is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Mercedes-Benz India, Mr. Santosh Iyer. Santosh, big day for you and for Mercedes-Benz India. My first question is, there've been a lot of iconic moments in the last 3 decades, with the first W124 E-Class rolling out, then the S-Class, now very recently, the Maybach GLS. Where does this rank? Because it almost feels like we've sort of jumped into the future with the EQS.
At one point of time, 2 years back, we launched the electric car called the EQC. And at that point of time, we were asked, is India ready for EV? Should you really get into EV at this stage? But I think it's a matter of time. In 3 to 4 months, looking at the demand, we were absolutely convinced that the customer demand is there, but as a responsible manufacturer, can we now give them cars? Can we locally produce them? So close to 18 months back, we took the decision to localize the EQS, which is our flagship car, equivalent to our S-Class as such. And next month we will also roll this car out from Chakan, and it's the first time a performance car is being launched on the electric segment. So it shows a clear commitment, and we are all excited. It's a turning point for sure for us in our journey in India.
Now, from the time the EQC arrived, it was the first luxury electric vehicle in the country. Till now, how do you think the customer preferences towards EVs have shifted? Or is it that, the conversion towards EV will be higher at the luxury end of the EV spectrum?
Yeah, I think the luxury customers first is there are multiple cars in the household, so they are not dependent on one car. So that was, I think, what we realized very fast is they have options. So for charging infrastructure as such, in case they forgot to charge, they still have another car, another Mercedes-Benz in their home maybe, and they can use that. But having said that, many of them really took that step. They installed chargers at their home. Outside of Bombay, people have independent houses, so much easier for them. But in large residential societies in Bombay and in Delhi, you also saw some resistance by housing societies to get chargers and practical issues. We are also announcing that we will be setting up the biggest ultra-fast charging network in India, exclusively for Mercedes-Benz customers. So we will have 140 charging points across our network, out of which more than 20 will be 180 kilowatt chargers, where a customer can send his car via driver or even drive himself. In 30 minutes, he gets his car charged, and he can proceed to Lonavala, to Goa, for example. And we have also taken use cases. For example, I mentioned Goa now. We are setting up chargers not only in Pune, but Kolhapur, for example, in Goa itself. So we want to take out this range anxiety thing out, and then have faster adoption.
So when you say the network, these are going to be established at Mercedes-Benz dealerships across these kind of cities?
So thankfully our showrooms and workshops are in many customer pockets, so by design, and therefore we are selecting based on our customer journey. So we have done a very detailed pin code analysis of where our customers are there, and based on that we have set up charging stations in our network 24/7. And exclusively for Mercedes customers. So they can walk in anytime, have a coffee, get their car charged, or send a chauffeur, we get the charge. Again, for the first year, we are also saying we will not charge them. So we just want an experience of a true luxury experience, no hassles, come and charge. And on the other side, we have also taken all the use cases. As I said, Delhi, Amritsar. So we have chargers in Karnal, Chandigarh, etc., Delhi, Dehradun and upwards. We have taken care of Bombay, Goa, as I mentioned, Bombay, Nasik. We have taken care of Bangalore, Chennai. Kerala, for example, is also a large state. So we will have it in Calicut, in Kochi, in other areas, and all high kilowatt chargers.
You've mentioned in the past that, assembling something like the C63 is not something you guys are interested in because of the whole, one man, one engine thing, and it comes out of a faulter bar. That's no longer the case with an electric AMG because there is no engine. Do you foresee the local assembly of AMG EVs in the country becoming easier as a result of that?
Not really. I think the AMG EVs have also very advanced level of electronics and different kind of setup. The overall to manufacture, I'm not saying it's challenging to manufacture more compared to a normal EQS, but still there is still a long way to go when it comes to volumes and thresholds. So in the long run, say next 8 to 10 years, everything will be manufactured here. But immediately our focus is to get one by one the series model, like we start with the EQS 580 and then we move on from there. So that's the strategy. And AMGs will continue to be on the CBU side. Also availability. You don't have kits. There is no CKD plant worldwide to make a CKD of an AMG. So it has to be a CBU for at least couple of years to come in.
From an after-sales point of view, given that this is the first born again, for sort of born electric platform, as opposed to the EQC, are things simpler for both the consumer and Mercedes-Benz India from just maintenance and everything?
It's a very good point. For the first time, we are saying to a customer that you come to our workshop once in 2 years. So the service interval for an EQS AMG is once in 2 years, unlike once in a year. So it's the industry first 2-year service interval. The second, we also discussed, AMG customers want to push their cars. And when you push these cars, of course, tires, they are not bothered because they love it. But you have that feeling, is the battery taking up because it's performance car, should I really push it? We said let's go with a 10-year warranty on the battery with the AMG. So this today what we announced is at first time ever a 10-year battery warranty. So our consumers who love AMGs push their cars, take the max out of it, leave the rest to us. We take care of the battery for 10 years. So these are big steps when it comes to the after sales or customer service businesses.
And my final question, Santosh, Mercedes-Benz India expects about 15 to 20% of its sales to come from EVs. What portion of that do you see coming from top-end luxury EVs like the EQS? And would demand be higher there?
So the next 5 years, we see 25% of our sales coming from EVs. And I would be not hesitating to say that more than 50% may be contributed by the top-end EVs.